In a world where the paranormal meets the preposterous, where ghostly whispers echo through the abandoned arcades, and every creaky floorboard might just be a clue, two bravish souls dare to investigate the mysteries no one else will touch.
We're Boo-Foons, mystery investigators. We don't always get it right, but we always get it weird.
Hey there, mystery lovers and mischief makers. I'm Steve.
And I'm Dan, together with the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators, your guides through the weird, the wild, and the wonderfully unexplained.
Each week, we dive headfirst into bizarre tales, haunted happenings, and conspiracy theories so strange they'll make your nan's ghost stories sound like bedtime lullabies.
We're talking cursed vacuum cleaners, psychic pigeons, haunted theme parks, and maybe, just maybe, a few real clues along the way.
So grab your flashlights, your EMF detectors, and maybe a snack, because things are about to get weird.
This is the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators, where the only thing scarier than the truth is how much fun we're having finding it. Welcome to the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators. As always, I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve.
And together we are the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators, investigating all sorts of mysteries. Yes. Got a bit of an interesting story today.
Go on,
I found a story about boggarts. Now, when I see the word boggart, there are some people out there that are going to think of Harry Potter, because I believe there was boggarts mentioned in the Harry Potter universe. Now, I will say I'm not really a fan of Harry Potter, but I understand that it's in there somewhere.
You understand, it exists, it's a thing.
It's a thing that exists in Harry Potter.
But I don't think of Harry Potter when I think of boggarts, because I'm too old. I think of Labyrinth, because Boggart was in Labyrinth. And that's the only boggart that I know. And that's the true boggart. As far as okay, that's me living in a sheltered life. That's so. Tell me about your boggart.
Well, on a totally random thing, was Boggart the one from Labyrinth that we saw in that museum we went to,
with the big nose that looked like a drunk?
Yeah. Or
wasn't that the big?
Oh no, it was a big furry.
No, that was the big furry. Yeah, what was his name? I can't remember his name now. Chewbacca. That was it. It was Chewbacca.
Well, it looked like an orange Chewbacca.
It did look like it looked like a Wish.com Chewbacca.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing with boggarts that I sort of I remember at primary school making clay boggarts and being told that they were linked to tree spirits, and you had to get a lump of clay, create a face a bit like a gargoyle, and then stamp it onto a tree. However, I have since come to learn that that's more of a regional thing, and boggarts aren't necessarily or traditionally linked to trees and tree spirits in forests.
I think it's quite fascinating, because I grew up in North London. We didn't do any boggart folklore. I don't know why, it just never came as far as North London. It's definitely, that must be a real rural the thing. I guess you had a maypole as well. Did you? But you did, didn't you?
No,
you had a maypole, and you did the occasional human sacrifice.
Well, maybe the sacrifices, but never a maypole.
It was Ludo. It was Ludo, not Chewbacca. It was Ludo from Labyrinth.
There we go. That's what we saw in that museum that we went to.
Yeah. Who I don't know why. I always, whenever time I see him in that film, I always think of Hodor from Game of Thrones, because it's pretty much the same character. This big, dumb character who just carries around another annoying character.
Hodor.
God, that was awful, wasn't it? Hold the door. Hold the door. Oh.
You know, if you got a tattoo on your face, you would actually look like the guy that played Hodor.
Awesome, thank you. That's the kindest thing you've ever said to me, you bastard.
Yeah, but he's like a rapper or something, isn't he?
He's a DJ, isn't he? He's a DJ. Yeah. He's a big DJ, because he's a big man who happens to be a DJ too.
Right. Anyway, should we get into this boggart story?
You put me off now, didn't I? I'm going to go back on my diet now. That seems for sure.
No, you don't. You're not that big. It's more your facial shape and. But this boggart story I've got is actually a story from Lancashire, of all places. And this is a story of a boggart called the Headless Woman.
That stumped me already, because I always just think of boggarts would be male. I didn't think of boggart. What is a boggart anyway? Tell me what a boggart is. Because I imagined a little creature with a big nose who just walks around with a grumpy voice, who's really annoying. Now I found out this boggart is a headless woman. Completely different to Labyrinth.
So a boggart is a creature in English folklore. It's usually mischievous or malevolent. Malevolent? Is that how you say it? Malevolent? Yeah, that's right.
Malevolent.
And it's a supernatural spirit. And depending on the area of the UK and the area of Britain, depends on how the boggart is depicted. So some boggarts are linked to tree spirits, some boggarts are shape-shifting beings, some of them can look like humans, some of them can look like other animals. However, there are some, and it seems to be that the common animals they are is a black dog, big black dog, a white cow, or a horse. So either a black dog, a white cow, or a horse.
So pretty much anything from the English countryside.
Yeah, pretty much. And is usually an omen of death. And they can be seen either shrieking or taking a form. And the most common thing is that they do cause mischief, tend to try and trap people or kill people or cause some sort of pain or trouble, basically. However, there are also some stories in some community, some like farming communities, where boggarts will actually help them with the farming and things. So not all stories of boggarts are bad and evil.
So, okay. So we're talking here, it could be any country, any animal found in the countryside. It could be good and it could be bad. When you had a life expectancy of like 35, it was an omen of death. Yep. It could be helpful, but is boggart like this thing that covers everything? It could be a creature. I see description here. Somebody says it could be part poltergeist, part goblin, and part household gremlin. Again, we're like ticking every box. Let's find a legend that doesn't fit anything else, and we'll just call it boggart. This one's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy this one. This is. I already feel my face tingling, like I'm just ready to. This is one's get me. This is so. We've got to have get something to cover every other eventuality, which isn't covered by something else.
Yeah.
Boggart.
So from this point onwards in the podcast, any mystery that we cannot explain is a boggart.
It's got a boggart. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a boggart.
Oh. I love this. This is this. Okay, yeah. Tell me more, Dad. Tell me more.
Well, I'll tell you the story of this one particular boggart of the Headless Woman in Lancashire. So it's specifically around Longridge and the country lanes around Longridge in Lancashire. And it was once haunted by a malicious boggart called the Headless Woman. From behind, she looked like any other old lady, hobbling along in her fringed cape and old-fashioned coal-scuttle bonnet, carrying a basket under one of her arms. At first she would walk quietly beside any walkers who tried to overtake her, listening politely to their conversations. But suddenly, when they were least expecting it, she would turn to face them, revealing that the inside of her bonnet was empty and there was nothing inside. As they recoiled in horror, she would whip the cloth off of the top of her basket, and out would spring her head, shrieking with laughter and snapping viciously. Her head had a mobility of its own. It would pursue the unfortunate travellers for miles, bounding along the road behind them. A local man once met the Headless Woman after a hard night's drinking in Longridge. He had set out on the lonely walk home across the fells when she attacked him. Luckily, he was a fast runner, and jumping over the top of the snapping head, he fled for the safety of his own home. His wife's reaction was reportedly unsympathetic, to say the least.
You've been drinking again, haven't you? That's what it is. You've
Now,
been drinking again.
This bit is actually written in the old-fashioned English, possibly local dialect of Lancashire. So we'll try our best to translate it. So I'll read it as it is, and we'll try and translate afterwards. If it makes the fane glad, o' their own hearthstone, she said, I see be some glad on it, for it's more nor a woman with a head on her shoulders hae been able to do so. So feel free to translate that.
You've been drinking again, haven't you? That's literally what she said.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know, because I couldn't work out anything else from that.
No.
Can you stick that in Google Translate? Do you know, have you tried that with Google Translate? Can you translate from Oldie English?
Let's try.
Yeah. I mean, I just like the idea of a snapping head chasing you. Turn around and just reveal an empty bonnet. Oh man! Again, but where's the similarity between that and a horse, cow, or dog? How can they be the same thing? And why was that not just a ghost or a evil spirit of some kind rather than a boggart? Again, boggart seems to cover everything, doesn't it? Or anything.
It does, and that's just this one story of the headless woman that I found. And I will say I've tried to translate what that says, and I can't really find it. So if you live in the Lancashire area and you can understand the old English and the old dialect of Lancashire, if it makes the fane glad, o' the hearthstone, I see be some glad on it, for it's more nor woman with a heed on her shoulders hae been able to do.
No, it still doesn't get any better, does it, really?
So, if you're a listener from Lancashire and that makes some sense to you, please let us know what that means.
Oh,
but
please.
With this story of this headless woman, it's just essentially some sort of ghostly being with a head in a basket and the head chases you. However, there is another story here where it says the boggart of the brook, and it doesn't say where the brook is. The awful caretaker of a bridge near... it does say where it is. Garstang is allegedly the ghost of a murdered woman and takes the form of a skeleton wrapped in a cloak and hood. She used to hitch lifts from horsemen at night and only reveal her true identity when safely mounted behind him. With a diabolical cackle, she would whip the horse into a gallop and cling with her cold, bony hands to the rider's back until, fainting with terror, he was thrown off the horse and injured or killed. And then there's a story of White Dobby. Lives in a world of its own, though it seems in some way attached to the coastal villages around Furness. It appears like a wandering, weary, and silent human, dresses in a dirty white topcoat. Its constant companion is a white rabbit with glaring bloodshot eyes. Speculating about its origin, some people have suggested that it might be the ghost of a murderer, and the rabbit is the eternal vindictive spirit of one of its victims.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Yeah,
there's
a white rabbit. Don't all white rabbits have red eyes?
They do.
Yeah,
especially ones that Knights of the Templar go for, looking for holy relics.
Yes, yeah. You need a holy hand grenade to defeat that rabbit. Definitely.
You
do. Yeah. Okay. So now but the rabbit isn't actually the boggart, is it? It's just a friend of the boggart.
It's a friend of the boggart, apparently.
It's a companion.
Yeah. So these boggart stories that we look at, and these are from the sort of Lancashire area, all seem to be, if we can't explain a ghostly being, let's just call it a boggart.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I mean, it does seem to be a Lancashire thing, really, doesn't it? Because I'm looking here online, and pretty much majority of the stories seem to be Lancashire. There's one here that's touching on Manchester. The Boggart Hole. The Boggart of Boggart Hole Clough. Clough? Clough? Is that as in Brian?
Clough. Must be Clough, as in Brian Clough.
That's it. The Boggart of Boggart Hole Clough, Manchester's mischief maker. It says here, this boggart was said to haunt a wooded area near Manchester. It rearranged furniture, broke pots, and made eerie noises at night. Families living nearby would leave offerings to appease it, milk, bread, or shiny trinkets. But if insulted or ignored, it turned nasty, hiding tools, souring milk, and even terrifying children with shadowy apparitions. The locals believed it could shapeshift into animals and vanish into thin air. That's it. Leave your bread, milk, or shiny trinkets, otherwise we'll scare your kids and just disappear.
Hang on, I've just found a bit more about this. So, in 1825, near Manchester Old Church, a tradesman called Drabble was attacked by an immense headless dog, which to his unspeakable terror ran him all the way home with its front paws on his shoulders. And that has links to what you were just saying about the farm, because apparently in the farm nearby, and like you said about the cream, that the boggart was upset about the cream, so the boggart tried to steal chickens and hens, which then made the cream go sour by stealing chickens and hens.
So that's okay. So so this also sounds very poltergeisty, doesn't it? Because it can't be seen, but then it can be turned into. I don't know about the turn into. I've never heard of a poltergeist turn into a black headless black dog. I can understand the hiding tools, sour milk, and scaring children, but it does say they can shapeshift into animals. But shapeshift to what? You're invisible. Nobody actually knows what its true form is. It's invisible, but it can shapeshift into animals. Boggarts. Okay, what question, right? Have there been any modern sightings of boggarts? Let's have a look, see if there's been any modern sightings, because if they survive into the new age or the modern age, that's when it gets more interesting than crazy old drunks from the Lancashire farming communities in the 1800s.
Funny enough, the first thing that came up with me looking at modern day boggarts is about a murder that happened at Boggart Stones. Okay. But it has nothing to do with boggarts, only that the location was Boggart Stones, and that was in the 60s.
Okay. Yeah, 1960s, got that. So there has been actually, there is actually apparently somebody has collected 1,100 contemporary boggart memories from social media, surveys, and interviews. Maybe we'll have to have a look into that, and maybe get on Simon Young, see if they want to be interviewed. Because Simon Young, boggarts, folklore and history, places and names in the dialect. So that's story. So apparently, there's stories here, 1960s, even into the 2000s. So the pet spooker was a young man claimed his dog refused to enter a particular room in his flat. Whenever he tried, the dog would whimper and back away. He later found claw marks on the inside of the door despite having no pet with claws. He described the presence as heavy, mischievous, and ancient. Again, I think it's just boggart being something that covers something that people can't explain. That everything is a boggart, because that has no link to any other boggart story that we've seen so far. In the 1980s, one family reported the laundry was going missing, only to reappear folded in bizarre places inside the fridge, under the stairs, or even in the dog's bed. They blamed a boggart, especially after hearing unexplained giggling and footsteps in the hallway at night.
Yeah.
But do you know what's more scary than a boggart, though, with that story? If there's somebody actually living in the house without them realizing, somebody living in the loft, for example, or in a cupboard, because that's more scary when somebody actually is potentially living in your house and you don't realize, and they're just folding shit up, putting it away in your cupboard, and then giggling at night. To me, that's more terrifying than anything else.
That makes you think of that Taskmaster of where the series where Rod Gilbert's on it, and every single prize task he's bringing in a very unflattering photo of Greg Davies, and then they had to bring in something that
Oh
was like
yes,
spooky, and the spooky thing was a video of him in Greg Davies' wardrobe
when
recording a
he's
video
asleep.
of him asleep.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Rod Gilbert's very funny. I went to I saw a stand-up, him do stand-up once, and it went on for almost 2 hours longer than the time it was supposed to go for. And I know from, like I say, my kids in the band, if they play over the time, it costs like 10 grand for like every minute or something. I dread to think how much Rod Gilbert had to pay for that theatre that he kept going for like 2 hours. People were left, and it's like, I've missed my bus, missed my train. Everyone was just standing there. There was no way of them getting home, but they had such a good time. Rod Gilbert, so funny. Let's have a look. Is there anything else here? Okay, this is good. This is pretty much what we're saying here. Modern folklore suggests that boggarts aren't just goblins; they're a catch-all spirit. Black dogs, headless phantoms, killer mermaids, even shape-shifting ghouls. They evolve with time. It's basically anything, like we said, that can't be explained becomes a boggart. So there could be no end to these boggart stories.
Yeah, because it does seem as if, like you said, if it doesn't fit in with, if it can't be explained as a ghost or an actual creature that has a legend in that area, it just seems as if everything is it's a boggart.
Can we change the name of the podcast?
What, to the Boggart Mystery Investigator, or Boo-Foons Mystery Boggart Investigators? That's it. Boo-Foons Boggart Investigators.
That's it. Everything is a boggart. So what do you reckon? I mean, this isn't. Yeah, as this is a catch-all, it's a lot harder to actually judge. And again, I only just looked over this. We've only been talking about this, but there's very few of these which are actually seen by more than one person. They often seem to be reports just by a person. But I guess if you're in a household and someone's folding up your laundry, everybody would know, because nobody wants to do that, do they?
No.
So it's like, did you fold the laundry? No, of course I didn't. But it's folded. Well, that wasn't me.
And also, what a thing to do, because normally with poltergeists and stories like that, they're not normally folding laundry. They're normally making a bit of a nuisance of themselves. So that's a bit of an unusual thing to be doing.
I do love the idea, though, that this spirit actually thinks the best way to unnerve the entire family is just to do the housework, which is awesome. It's like, what can we do to freak him out? I don't know. Let's just do it. Let's just tidy up for him.
So if you're listening if you're listening and you know that boggart, please send it round to my house. I would be absolutely terrified if something like that started doing my house. I definitely wouldn't be grateful. So please send that evil spirit to my house to do all of my housework.
We did used to kind of joke about this. Wouldn't it be funny if someone broke into the house and just tidied it up? Because you always used to hear a bit of, people breaking the house, trashing it, weeing everywhere, graffiti on the wall, pooing on the tables. And I was just thinking, wouldn't it be great if someone actually broke and just like tidied up the house? They broke into a house that was so untidy, they thought, okay, let's just do this. Let's sort this for them. Again, burglars like that we never experience.
Well, it's funny you say that. I once had a chat with some friends about, if you were a burglar, what would be the most random yet inconvenient thing you could steal from a house? So you're not allowed to like touch the telly or anything. And we all agreed that if you took every single roll of toilet paper and everything out of somebody's house, it's a thing that you wouldn't expect to be stolen. But how inconvenient would that be?
Yeah. Or how about every light switch?
Yeah.
But leave the light bulbs in there. Or every light bulb.
Exactly.
Just take out all the light bulbs. Take the fuses out of everything. No, that could be dangerous. That's a bit dangerous, isn't it? What else could you do, I guess? What would you do if you were...
Well, I said it would be the toilet paper. I'd take all the rolls of toilet paper.
Oh, I thought that's what everyone decided during the conversation. I didn't realise that was
well, we did decide it, but that was mine. But then you've got other things like you could take every single mug and cup.
How about the tea out of the tea bags?
Yeah.
Just leave empty tea bags. Can you imagine how confusing that would be? Everybody, it's just empty tea bags.
Yeah. So I guess the conclusion that we're drawing on these boggarts is they're pretty much anything and everything
Anything you want it to
that
be.
can't be explained, and it's just labelled a boggart. And I do love this headless woman story though, because the fact that they have no head, but the head is kept in a picnic basket essentially, and then chases after you.
Yeah, just waiting for the reveal. That's it. You know.
But
Wait for the right opportunity to jump out and snap in after you down the street.
But the bit I can't find is what the ultimate aim of the boggart was. Like, was it trying to feed on the person, or was it just trying to scare them?
Well, it does say mischief makers, so but malevolent. I would always think malevolent meaning something a lot more serious than just mischief. Malevolent I would think was just it's more evil. Has evil intent, but nothing here seems evil apart from just trying to scare people. Which is kind of more just inconvenient, I guess, or just fun.
Yeah.
So apparently, though I did say this is go back, we didn't actually look at before. The term boggart comes from the Middle English word for buggy or bug, which means spirit or monster. Now I'm assuming it's bug because I'm not very good. You're the educated one here, so the word, because it's Old English as well. Who knows? Bugge is how you pronounce it.
So it's either bog or boog, isn't it?
Boog, yeah. And apparently they reckon it's a linguistic cousin to words like boogeyman, bugbear, and boogle, or boogle, or what they called? Oh, what were they called? The toys.
Boggle.
But they're boggles, were they? The toys, like the monsters with the eyes, and you can stick them on your hands, and they were a real craze in the 80s, and were they boggles? Boggles?
I can't remember. I just used to put them on my fingers and just wave my hands around like, oh, I've got loads of monsters on my hand. Oh, Boggles, that game with the dice, isn't it?
Yeah, Boggles, a game with the dice. It's like a monster puppet. There was a whole load of them, and they had come in little boxes with. They were like hand size, and you put your hand in them. Now this is really annoying because if we have got listeners, there's going to be at least two screaming at that they know what this is.
Yeah, and I love how well researched all of this podcast is, and how well scripted it is. That we've definitely that this is 100% scripted and not us make it up as we go along.
This shows how much effort truly goes into this. But what I love though is I think there will be people who think this is actually scripted, and we're just like the best actors who actually we've tried so hard to make it sound like we don't know what we're talking about. We've actually put so much effort into this, making it sound naturally like we're really uneducated. Talking about toys I can barely remember. Like, oh God, I don't know. It's too early in the morning. I don't remember anything. Yeah. Let's have a look.
At least people will appreciate us being natural and
natural. Yeah. Unlike boggarts.
Yes, that are very unnatural.
Let's see if there's anything else here. Let's have a look. What else can we tell you about boggarts? Okay, I found some more information for you. This is research at its finest. Never name a boggart. If you name a boggart, it becomes uncontrollable and destructive. Which, actually, looking at all these boggart legends, nobody's actually given a name of any of these boggarts. They're just known as the boggarts. None of them have a name.
But then, hang on, the headless lady or headless woman did have the name of headless woman.
Oh, that's a description, not a name, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
I think we can have descriptions, but not names. So, yes, have a look. So, the behaviours. So, they're known for playing tricks, frightening people, sometimes becoming downright dangerous. If a hobgoblin is mistreated, it's a hobgoblin now, it can transform into a boggart, turning from helpful. Okay, did you know a hobgoblin was helpful?
Yes.
So, apparently, so a hobgoblin turning from helpful to hostile. So, a hobgoblin can become a boggart. So, it's like the Incredible Hulk stage. Don't make me angry. You won't like me if I'm angry. No, I'm a boggart, and you're going to get that laundry folded, even if you like it or not.
What if you feed a hobgoblin after midnight?
After midnight, yes. Yes. Well, they were described as a household gremlin as well. Um, and household boggarts can apparently sneak into homes, cause milk to sour, objects to vanish, and dogs go lame. But it misses out here, fold in laundry too. Outdoor boggarts are okay. So particular locations can have outdoor boggarts: swamps, marshes, or even hilltops. They're territorial spirits, apparently. Again, we're covering everything here.
Well, as I said at the top end of this episode, I knew boggarts as being linked to tree spirits. And either you would carve a face into the tree to bring out the thing, or you could get clay and make a sort of gargoyle-y face and stick it to the tree, and it would encourage the tree spirits in and would be almost protective of the mischievous nature. So it does seem that boggart is just a really general term for absolutely anything.
Yeah. Oh, there is in Lancashire, if you have a skittish horse, it was said to have took boggarts, which means it's meant to be spooked by one. So basically, if you got a horse that went out of control, it's because a boggart spooked it. Not that you're just like really bad with horses. And boggart muck is a thing. So apparently, boggart muck it actually turned out it was just owl droppings, but that was described as boggart muck. So, which again is quite correct. I don't know if you've ever seen a decent amount of owl droppings before, but they often pass like whole skeletons of things like mice or whatever they eat.
The owl pellets, they get rid of anything that they can't naturally digest.
But because they swallow it whole, you end up with the whole mouse skull inside it, which I imagine could be quite unnerving if you didn't know what that was. You just smelt it and saw the rot decayed skull of a mouse sticking out of it. A boggart did it.
Because of this whole episode, what I'm going to do whenever anything unexplained ever happens in my life going forward, I'm just going to go, oh, it's a boggart.
Yeah.
I haven't submitted some work to my boss on time. Sorry, a boggart took over my computer. I couldn't get it to you. It was all the boggart. Blame the boggart.
That's it. In my regular day job, whenever a computer goes wrong, I'm going to say, it took boggart. It took boggart. And now it doesn't work. Okay, so right, okay. I love this one. One final one I've got to say again. We're talking about the appearance of a boggart, and if you look at the appearance of a boggart, it's described as being wildly inconsistent. Check out everything we've said.
Far we've got invisible.
Yeah,
it can be a person. It could be a headless person. It could be a dog, a cow, or a horse. So
it could be shadowy. It can have a pet rabbit. It could be a headless. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you say that one? Okay. What else can it be? It can shadowy figures. Describes a boggarts crawling to bed. I like this one. Okay. Some people described. There's even a tale. Sorry. Okay. Some people described them as being small, hairy humanoids. Again, another thing we haven't. No one's actually mentioned any of these yet. The boggart from Labyrinth. He was a small. The hairy humanoid. But apparently somebody reported that a boggart used to sleep with them in bed. They would crawl into bed and place their clammy hands on their face. So, okay. So, now boggart is just, I think, it's everything and nothing. Again, no multiple sightings of any boggarts. It seems to be mainly from one area of the country, but it does spread a little bit further. It's everything. It's nothing. It's just, I've got a story to tell you. Going to scare you. It's a boggart.
Yep, it's all boggarts. It's all boggarts.
Everything
is boggarts now.
Yeah, it's probably somebody who's just as well prepared as we are. With this thing, when somebody sits down and we start telling a story, we just don't know where it's going. So it was a boggart.
Yeah, it was a boggart.
Why was the episode so bad? It was the boggart episode.
Yeah, boggarts just appeared.
Yeah, we're going to have a few more of these. I'll tell you, it's all going to be that was so bad. Yeah, that was just a boggart. That's why it was just a really bad episode.
Why does the audio sound slightly off on this episode and not the other episode? Oh, boggarts, just boggarts.
Yeah. People will, there'll be years to come. Some will say, I don't know, I was stuck listening to this podcast. Like, it was like a fever dream. And I just think it was just a boggart. It just turned on this podcast and I ended up having to listen to it. And I've never been the same since.
Yeah.
I was boggarted. It was in the dark.
Maybe that could be a piece of merch that we release. Just I was boggarted.
I was boggarted from behind.
I was boggarted by the Boo-Foons.
Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Dan? Are we had enough of boggarts for now?
I think we've had enough of boggarts, because I think it's what we've come to the conclusion of is boggarts essentially are anything in, well, mainly Lancashire, but other areas of English folklore that cannot be explained as anything else. It's just a universal term for here's a thing.
So, yeah, which I mean, again, my last comment is it's really surprising that our folks from Lancashire can make up such amazing stories or experience such amazing things, but not think of a decent name for it.
Yes, just go boggart. They could have had so many different stories out of this and come up with so many different legends, but instead they've just labelled it as one thing and just gone boggart, just boggarts.
I mean, the headless. I love the idea of that headless woman, with the head in the basket. But why brand that under boggart? You could have branded that anything. It could have been awesome.
Yeah.
Rather than just a boggart. Okay, for me, still boggarts. Labyrinth, that's it. Boggart from Labyrinth. That's still my Labyrinth. You haven't convinced me there's any other type of boggart. I'm going to have to watch some Harry Potter to see what they look like in Harry Potter. I could Google it, but
well, I can tell you what it is. Apparently, in Harry Potter, it's a shape-shifting creature that takes the form of a person's greatest fear.
Clowns.
Ah.
Sorry, did I just ruin my greatest fear?
You did.
I did. Yeah, clowns.
Well, I guess I'm going to dress as a clown next time I see you.
Oh, don't do that, Dan. I honestly, clowns, I would rather face any of these boggarts that we mentioned rather than a clown.
Yeah.
Even a headless woman, I would be like, chase me with that snapping jaws of yours, but just don't be a clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clowns. What about you? What's your greatest fear? Or you don't want to tell me?
I've never really had a greatest fear, which I don't know if that makes me weird at all, but
what? I'm not really scared of clowns. I just hate them. I hate them. I hate them with every ounce of their existence. So I don't know if it's a fear. It's a hatred.
Yeah, like there's lots of people that say things like heights and snakes, and like clowns is quite a common one. But I've never had anything where I've gone, oh no, don't do that. That's weird. Oh no. Actually, I'll tell you what. Do
you know what though?
The thing I've just realised, it's when you get puppets that look too real.
Yeah.
That really creeps me out. So puppets that look very, very, very real. So not like, I'm not talking a ventriloquist dummy in a little suit. I'm not talking about that because that's very obviously, with the way the mouth moves. It's the ones that look like an actual thing. They are a little bit unnerving for me. Unnerving.
What is that term? There is what was it? There's a term for that, isn't there? Which
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley. That's it. It was, what was it? Polar Express, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't like the Polar Express film.
Yeah, that things just look real, but not quite real. Yeah. That's people with plastic surgery. Too much plastic surgery. It's like that. It's a real thing, but it doesn't quite look real. It's just not quite right.
Yeah.
But we should have actually saved this for its own episode, talking about fears.
Yes. But there we go. We've now got a bit of a spoiler for an idea for a future one. We've spoken about some fears.
But we've revealed the fears now. We have no more fears.
Maybe we do. Maybe
I do. I do have one more fear, and that's actually researching an episode properly before we start.
Blame the boggarts.
Oh, God, it's always a boggart. Yes. Right, that's it. Time to sign off.
Yes, well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in this week to the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators. We will be back next week with yet another story of the unknown. And if we can't get to the bottom of it, we'll just blame Boggarts.
Boggarts. It's going to be a boggart. What if everything is a boggart?
Well, let's figure that out next time, because maybe the next episode it will be a boggart. Who knows? But there we go. I've been Dan.
And I've been Steve.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Remember, if you're not following us on any of the socials, we're Boo-Foons on pretty much everything. And if you really want to be kind and generous, do subscribe to our Patreon and keep the podcast going.
Yes. I'll tell you something. If people do subscribe to podcasts, I might actually do some research first. Thanks, Dan.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Boo-Foons, where mystery lives, they're never far behind.